Today on Poetry Corner, we are going to delve into a completely Gothic poem, first published by Poe in 1831. At that time, the poem was called Doomed City. It was reworked and republished as City of Sin in 1836, and finally it was published under the title City in the Sea in 1845. That is the version that has become the Poe standard. Looking at all of the versions, they're really not too different. Doom City and City of Sin end with an extra line. The final version is a bit more descriptive and more Gothic. For example, in the first and second versions, Poe writes, "There open temples, open graves are on a level with the waves." That becomes this by 1845. There open fanes and gaping graves yawn level with the luminous waves. Reworking poems was something Poe often did. Other writers did that too. Poe is not unique in that respect. As someone who writes and rewrites constantly, that can be a problem. I haven't had anything published really yet. It's amazing that Poe did, knowing how he worked. The sea is a motif that Poe often visits. In an 1850 anthology of Poe's published after his death, this poem shares the same page as Annabel Lee, which takes place in a city by the sea. The city here is a fantastical city, dark, mysterious, ruled by death. Can't get much more Gothic than that. So here it is. The City in the Sea by Edgar Allan Poe. Lo, death has reared himself a throne in a strange city, lying alone far down within the dim west, where the good and the bad and the worst and the best have gone to their eternal rest. There, shrines and palaces and towers, time-eaten towers that tremble not, resemble nothing that is ours. Around, by lifting winds forgot, resignedly beneath the sky, the melancholy waters lie. No rays from the holy heaven come down on the long nighttime of that town, but light from out the lurid sea streams up the turrets silently, gleams up the pinnacles far and free, up domes, up spires, up kingly halls, up fanes, up Babylon-like walls, up shadowy, long-forgotten bowers of sculpted ivory and stone flowers, up many and many a marvelous shrine, whose wreathed friezes intertwine the vial, the violet, and the vine. Resignedly beneath the sky, the melancholy waters lie. So blend the turrets and shadows there that all seem pendulous in air, while from a proud tower in the town, death looks gigantically down. There open fanes and gaping graves yawn level with the luminous waves, but not the rich there that lie in each idol's diamond eye, not the gaily jeweled dead tempt the waters from their bed. For no ripples curl, alas, along that wilderness of glass. No swellings tell that winds may be upon some far-off, happier sea. No heavings hint that winds have been on seas less hideously serene. But lo, A stir is in the air, the wave. There is a movement there, as if the towers had thrust aside and slightly sinking the dull tide, as if their tops had feebly given a void within the filmy heaven. The waves have now a redder glow. The hours are breathing faint and low. And when, amid no earthly moans, down, down that town shall settle hence, hell, rising from 1,000 thrones, shall do it reverence. The City in the Sea by Edgar Allan Poe. Whew. The imagery in this poem is dark, most likely inspired by the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, the city in the sea, like Atlantis perhaps too. It is hell incarnate. It is ruled by death with a capital D. In the center of the city is a building with towers and pinnacles and spires. These are all parts of a Gothic cathedral. This use of imagery from the Middle Ages is what gives Gothic Romanticism its name. The otherworldliness, the sense of foreboding, the sense of death, the darkness. That is what Gothic Romanticism is all about. Thanks for listening to this episode. More information about this show can be found at bellbookcamera.com. I can be reached at bruce@bellbookcamera.com. Would love to hear from you. Let us know what you think. You can subscribe to this podcast on every podcast platform. You could watch it on YouTube as well. Tell your friends and join us next time as we jump into another great work of poetry from the master, Edgar Allan Poe. I am Bruce Janu.